Smart Speakers Daily. Hello, I'm Peter Stewart. The best bits from the best blogs. You can follow along via the smartspeakers.com/links. And thank you for the loan of your ears. So what about smart speakers and podcast listening? This article from amplifymedia.com from Steve Goldstein says we've done a pretty good job training well over a third of the US to listen to podcasts on their phone. They've got to be given a reason to listen to podcasts on their smart speaker when their phones are on them all of the time. Well, it'd be interesting to know whether you are listening to this flash briefing, which is essentially what it set out to be, either as a flash briefing on a smart speaker, or maybe you consider it to be a podcast and you're listening to it on your phone or on some other kind of device. Well, many podcasters say that the intimacy of podcasts mean people choose earbuds over speakers, so people listen on a one-to-one basis rather than one-to-many basis. So does that mean smart speakers are out of the running? Well, Steve says there is some concern that content is certainly uniquely suited to listening on earbuds instead, but it's the content that's suited to that and not the medium itself. In other words, just because it is a podcast, it doesn't make it so that you've got to listen on earphones rather than a smart speaker. For example, a daily news podcast, if you and your other half enjoy the same content and it is short and you're going to listen together, why would you sit in different corners of the same room or in different corners of the same house with two different phones and two different sets of earbuds listening at different times, or even the same time if you can listen together while you're doing something together in the same room? For example, if you're preparing an evening meal or breakfast or whatever it happens to be. So certain types of content, say shorter content, is more viable on a smart speaker potentially because you're tied to a room and people move around. And the article also says people are doing less typing and more talking to all sorts of voice assistants, especially on smartphones. 56% use a voice assistant on a smartphone for search and commands. The article goes on. Interesting to read that in full, amplifymedia.com or via the smartspeakers.com/links. From London, I'm Peter Stewart.
Part of the Briefcast.fm network.